magical land filled with lush forests, sparkling rivers, and flowers that sang, there lived a young girl named Bonnie. Bonnie loved everything about her world, the soft, pink clouds that floated overhead, the golden paths that wound through the trees, and the sweet fruit that grew on every vine. But there was one thing Bonnie didn't love, sharing. Whenever her friends asked if they could play with her toys, take a turn on her enchanted swing, or have some of her candy, Bonnie would refuse. She liked having everything to herself and didn't want to give up even a little piece of the fun. Why should I share? Bonnie would say. It's all mine. One evening, as Bonnie sat in her room surrounded by toys, candy, and treats, her parents called her down for dinner. They sat her at the table, their faces filled with concern. Bonnie, her mother said gently, we've noticed you're not sharing with your friends. You have so much, more than anyone else, but if you don't learn to share, you might find that happiness becomes harder to hold on to. Her father nodded. Greed can make people feel lonely, even when they have everything. Sharing brings joy, not just to others, but to you, too. But Bonnie didn't understand. I don't want to share. Why should I? I have everything I need. Her parents sighed but smiled softly. We hope you'll see, one day, that sharing is what makes the world around you truly magical. Her mother said. Bonnie frowned, still unsure, but shrugged it off. She wasn't ready to share yet. One bright morning, as Bonnie wandered through the woods, she met an old, wise wizard. His long, silver beard shimmered in the sunlight, and his robe sparkled like stardust. Hello, Bonnie, the wizard said with a warm smile. I am Alaric, and I can help you learn something important. Bonnie frowned. I don't need help. I'm happy with the way things are. But Alaric, with his gentle eyes, only chuckled. You might think you are, but I have a feeling there is something more to happiness than keeping everything to yourself. Bonnie didn't understand what the wizard meant, but she shrugged and walked away, still unwilling to share. Later that day, as Bonnie wandered deeper into the woods, she stumbled upon something unusual. A tall, shimmering mirror, standing alone in the middle of a clearing. It wasn't an ordinary mirror. This one had an ornate golden frame, and its surface shimmered with a soft, magical glow. Well, what do we have here? A voice suddenly echoed from the mirror, making Bonnie jump back in surprise. The voice was smooth and sly, with a hint of mischief. I am the mirror of wishes, and I can grant you anything your heart desires. Just speak your wish aloud, and I'll make it come true. Bonnie's eyes grew wide. She had heard stories about magical mirrors that could grant wishes, but she never thought she'd come across one. Anything? She asked, her voice filled with wonder. Anything? The mirror replied with a playful tone. Toys, sweets, treasures, the world at your feet. All you need to do is ask. Bonnie smiled. I want a giant castle filled with candy, toys, and shiny jewels. In an instant, the mirror shimmered, and right before Bonnie's eyes, a magnificent castle appeared on the horizon, with candy glowing from the walls and jewels sparkling from every window. Bonnie ran toward it, laughing with delight, but as Bonnie explored her new castle, something strange started happening. The more she collected, the less she enjoyed. The sweets tasted bland, and the toys seemed dull. She had everything she could possibly want, but it didn't feel as exciting as she had imagined. Just then, the mirror spoke again, its voice teasing. I see you're enjoying all your treasures. But remember, there's always more to wish for, isn't there? Bonnie frowned. I thought I would be happier with everything. Bonnie frowned. I thought I would be happier with everything, but I'm not. I still feel empty. The mirror giggled. Ah, but you haven't tried wishing for more. You could have it all if you wanted, Bonnie's eyes gleamed. More? I want even bigger toys and more candy. Everything in the world, just for me, and so, she made another wish, and the castle grew even larger, with more and more things filling it. But the emptiness inside Bonnie only grew, too. She realized that no matter how much she had, it didn't bring her the joy she had hoped for, as Bonnie stood in the center of her oversized, glittering castle, surrounded by mountains of toys, mountains of candy, and endless treasures. Something strange began to happen. The once vibrant colors of the magical land began to fade. The singing flowers grew silent, and the air felt cold. Bonnie shivered, noticing that the magical world around her was losing its sparkle. Just then, a soft voice spoke from behind her. It was Wizard Alaric, standing in the doorway of the castle. His eyes were filled with kindness, but there was also a hint of sadness. Bonnie, he said gently, look at what you've wished for. You have everything you could possibly want, but something is missing. Can you see it? Bonnie turned around, feeling a pang in her chest as she saw the faded colors of the world. I don't understand, she said. I have everything, so why do I feel so lonely? Wizard Alaric smiled kindly, but there was a seriousness in his voice. Because true happiness doesn't come from having everything. It comes from sharing with others. You can have all the toys, candy, and jewels in the world, but without someone to enjoy them with, what's the point? Bonnie looked down at her hands, which were empty despite being surrounded by treasures. She hadn't realized until now how much she missed her friends, the joy of sharing a laugh or playing together. The mirror, sensing the shift in Bonnie's heart, spoke in its mischievous voice. Bonnie, don't listen to him. You could have it all, forever, if you just wish for more. Bonnie looked at the mirror, her heart torn. She could wish for more toys, more candy, more of everything, but she knew in her heart that it wouldn't make her happy. It would just make her more alone. She turned to Wizard Alaric. What should I do? I don't want to be alone anymore. Alaric's eyes twinkled with understanding. You must make a choice, Bonnie. You can keep everything, but you will lose the magic of this world, and the magic of friendship. Or you can share what you have, and the world will be full of joy again. Bonnie stood there, the weight of her decision heavy on her shoulders. For a long moment, she thought about her toys, her candy, her castle. But in the end, she knew what was right. With a deep breath, she said, I choose to share. From that day on, Bonnie became known as the kindest, most generous girl in the magical land. She shared her toys, her sweets, and her laughter with anyone who needed it. The world around her sparkled, not because of the things she had, but because of the joy she spread by sharing, and every now and then, Bonnie would catch a glimpse of the magical mirror, which would wink at her with a mischievous smile. But she no longer needed its wishes. She had discovered the true magic of sharing. And that was enough. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.